Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Frying Pan Experience. It's where you're an egg, we are a big old hot frying pan, and you're getting cooked.
All right, so
Um,
like you said, like we. So to make this literal, so like we're both the frying pan, right? So like who's the base, who's the handle?
what do you think?
I would say I would say you're the base.
You think
I would say
so?
you're the base. Yeah, I would because I feel like I could be a good handle, you know?
Yeah, well, the handle's like the backbone, so
Yeah, but like, without the base though, you're not cooking anything, so
that's true. Well, I'm Daniel the Base Seer, and I'm here with my co-host.
Robert the Handle D'Onofrio. I'm sorry. That's the handle. That's actually kind of a cool nickname though.
The handle? Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, I
Well,
don't.
okay, if this was like the early 2000s maybe or like in like a 90s movie getting called The Handle,
Sure, why
pretty
not?
dope. Pretty
I
damn
mean,
dope.
I
Like, oh,
prefer.
watch out for him, man. He's the handle.
I mean, like if I was in like a Fast and Furious movie, straight up my nickname would I'd want it to be Razor, because like it's
Dude,
undisputedly the best nickname humanly possible that you can create or
every,
give anyone. So
every time you come like you say your fictitious like kind of edgy name, it's Razor every time. And I laugh every time because I don't picture you as this Razor person. I picture like a severely middle school type emo phase version of you every time.
well, I always just think of the dude in the Need for Speed Most Wanted game, and the way he talked was very like distinct. He always sounded like he like was holding back.
Mm.
He like you kind of talk like this. He's like, I'm gonna take your car and your woman. But like, he slashed my tires, or like he slashed my gas can before the race. So like, it just wasn't fair.
I
That
just looked up a picture of this guy. Clarence Callahan, is it?
I think so. I don't know. I mean, if your
Uh,
name was Clarence Callahan, you'd have to go by a nickname.
right. Yeah, I would go by Razor as well, to be
Yeah.
quite honest
No
with you.
offense to anybody out there with the name Clarence, but it's
Kind of looks like the lead singer to fucking Breaking Benjamin.
I would have no idea what the lead singer of Breaking Benjamin looks like, even though I've listened to Diary of Jane more times than I'm willing to admit. But anyways, how are you doing today, my good friend?
I'm doing all right. It's been a little bit of a busy week for me so far. But that's just kind of like the nature of the end of semester. It's online school. We're still kind of having exams and finals and whatnot.
Is everything just pass or fail? Like it doesn't really matter what grade you get?
Um, so yes and no. Like we have the option, like I said a couple episodes ago, to make class pass or fail. It doesn't affect our GPA, but like
Hmm.
that doesn't affect your GPA, which is I don't know, it's good or bad. I don't know, it depends. Like you can't really pass fail your major courses, which kind of sucks. Which is like
Yeah.
the only one I would pass fail right now.
Yeah.
But no, actually my English professor was a real homie. He said as long as you did your long essay and you turn in your final reflection paper, I will pass you.
That's
And like he
good.
sent a mass email to the class to everyone saying that, and like that was just reassuring because like he even say like do good on the long essay. He was like as long as you turn it in and it meets the requirements, you will pass the class.
No, that's very nice.
Yeah, and like that's reassuring. I don't know. It kind of sucks because like it being on like having that online element, like you feel extra not sure how your end of the semester grade's gonna turn out.
Yeah,
Like
that's also fair.
like I've emailed my ethics professor 7 times now. Actually, 7 times.
Have
I've gotten a response off the second email, third email, and he's replied to none of my follow-up ones.
yeah. Well, that's not good.
But to be fair, I also haven't gotten an email saying, "Hey, you're failing." So like, hopefully that's not the case. But it is what it is. So, long story short, just been really busy this week, doing some school stuff, but it's to be expected.
That's true. Now, is it that it's just busy, or is everything you've pushed off finally coming to the surface now?
Um, A little bit of both, to be fair. I've just had a few. I've had a couple exams that I've had to like specifically take on these days.
Hmm.
So that's just why it's been more busy. And I mean, to be fair, most of the due dates, the stuff I've been doing is still a week away. So I wouldn't say it's like I haven't procrastinated the longest I physically can yet. Cause like I've got. I hate to say it, I've got it down to almost a science. I can procrastinate an assignment pretty much right up until the point where like it will literally be impossible to do it and still get it in, turn it in, and have a fine grade.
What a
So,
what a great skill to have.
well, if anything, because I'm not doing that right now, I'm ahead of the game.
That's fair.
And that's just because the last time I did that, my body wasn't right for like 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, it's true.
Like it was literally like I stayed up. I pulled like what fucking 3 all-nighters in a week, and then I stayed out the last day 36 hours straight, fucking working on that massive paper, and then I had to go to class that morning and that day till 9:30 at night.
Yeah, honestly, it was one of the dumbest things I could remember.
Dude, the dumbest thing that I could remember was me getting in my car on my way home from school that night, and dead ass having to pull over and be like, "Hey, mom." I need you to talk to me while I'm driving home because I keep closing my eyes. And she was like, "Oh my god, do you need me to come get you?" I'm like, "No, mom. I'm already driving. Like, it is what it is." And then it was basically her just, telling me about her day or whatever while I was driving. But still, it was like dead ass. It was me just like closing my eyes. And I was like, "Oh shit, no." Thankfully, it was like fucking late at night, so there was no one on the road. But could have been an issue. Definitely
Uh,
could have been.
I mean, it's still an issue, I'd say, but like, I guess you're all right. You're living. You made it.
Yeah, exactly. And no one else was a victim. So
A win's a win.
a win is a win. How you doing? How's your week been?
I'm doing okay.
It's been your happy birthday to you. It was Dan's birthday on Monday, folks.
Yeah. Woohoo.
He's 22.
Oh, thanks. Woo, yay. Woohoo, super. But
So I mean, okay, let's talk about this a little bit. See, I'm actually the type of person that doesn't really get much enjoyment from my birthday either. However, I refuse to be one of those people that just get like randomly depressed around their birthday just because it's their birthday. Because like, okay, I get the logic behind it is, yeah, it used to be a happy occasion, but now that we've grown up, it's just become another day, and that realization's depressing. However, once you think about it like that, then you realize how juvenile it feels to be depressed just because it's your birthday.
no,
So, in conclusion, be depressed because you're depressed.
Jesus. Okay, sorry. No, I've just over the years I've had a lot of like bad events happen on my birthday, so I just don't like the day.
Oh, I feel that. See, my problem with it has always just been because like ever since the parent like, well, it started because the parents got divorced, and then because like that was just the stress. It was like, oh no, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna be like, what parent am I seeing or whatever that bullshit, and then it just translated to like, I think it was like my senior year of high school. I had like one of my worst in school experiences on that day.
Yeah.
And it was because I like simultaneously like I haven't failed many things in my like academic career like test wise,
Hmm.
but I happened to fail 2 tests on that same like day. Like I got a chemistry test back and saw that my shit literally like my grade was 1 point off of failing. And I was like, damn. Like my overall grade after the test.
That is the tragedy is like especially
Yeah.
in high school when you'd have the teacher that wouldn't like round up at all. I mean, I
Oh
understand
yeah.
if it was like you need a 70 to pass and you got a 65 and you're like, "Come on, teach, can you just round it up?" And like, "No," but if it was
No.
like you have a 69.4 or whatever, and they're like, ah, "Sorry, really can't help you out there."
Sheesh. Right? See, so that's where my like, ew, it's my birthday comes into play.
I feel you. Well, mine was Monday and yours is Thursday. So,
Is it Thursday?
is today 29th?
I thought it was the 28th, no? No, it is the 29th. Okay.
Yeah, I don't have my phone. Yeah, I thought today was 29th. So tomorrow, so when this goes up, it'll be good old Robert's birthday. So happy birthday
Damn.
from the
Thank you.
future.
from the. I can't wait to listen to this tomorrow and be like, "Oh, thanks, past Dan."
Yeah, and then you message me, and I'm just like, shut up, dude. That's past me. Future me doesn't care anymore.
Yeah, actually, speaking of, so you know what's great? Since we're talking about birthdays, I saw my mom this morning. She's like, "Hey, what do you want to do for your birthday dinner?" As if going out was an option.
It's such a tragedy. Like,
And I was like, "Ma, what do you mean?" She's like, "Well, we could still do takeout." And I'm like, "Oh,
I mean,
yeah, you're not wrong, Mom. Okay, I give you that." And she's like, she's like listing off some like steakhouses and shit to get takeout from. I'm like, "Ma, I've been meaning to say this for years, but unless we go to like those really yuppie steakhouses that I hate, there's not a chance that I'm gonna get a steak that I'm not gonna think that I can just cook better myself."
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I always
Sorry, you
go for it.
No, you.
Oh, I was gonna say like when we go to like okay, so like what's your baseline steakhouse? Like Texas Roadhouse, I would say is a good baseline, right? 'Cause their steak is fine there. Like their other dishes, eh?
I would argue the steaks are a little below the line, but
Really? See, I would say Outback would be below the line, where it's like Texas Roadhouse is the line.
see, I would say like Longhorn is the line of like, because I'm basing it line of like, okay, I would get a steak there.
Which
Going to Texas Roadhouse, I would not get a steak there.
is interesting considering like that's all they offer.
Dude, I've talked about it with my friends, and we all agree that if you go to Texas Roadhouse, the only two good things are the bread and their chicken critters, which
See,
is just chicken tenders.
See, okay, I actually just got done telling my mom how I don't like Texas Roadhouse. However, I now feel the need to defend it because I feel like people that say that don't even go to just don't even go to like steakhouses anyways. So like they're saying like, "Oh, I don't like Texas Roadhouse," but they're not I'm gonna be real. I doubt people like even like have something that they would even think better of in mind.
Yeah,
You know what I
like,
mean?
the only thing that's like near us that's not like uppity that I'd say is better is Longhorn, because Longhorn, times I've gone there, it's good. Steak's good.
Hey,
Not bad.
I've officially decided that Longhorn Steakhouse is now a solid for me.
I think it's good. Yeah.
I was there a couple months back with my aunt, and I got the salmon, and I'm very picky about how I like my salmon to preface this, just because like there's basically 3 people that have made it for me out of like probably 10 or so that I've loved. Those 3 people are my grandmother. She makes phenomenal salmon. My aunt Heather, and and her son, my cousin Charlie. They make phenomenal salmon, whether it's like on the stove, like I've had it like the grill or the oven, like however they make it. They make it great. The other 7 or so people have made it total miss for me. So I was like, maybe I've only liked it these times. Longhorn though, pretty damn good. So they got my seal of approval on that, just because it's that one item that I like. I always think I love salmon until I get it from someone that I don't know if they're just not that good at cooking it or what. But like I'll get it, I'll be like, oh ew.
Well, I mean, that's the thing with fish is like, if it's not cooked to exactly how you want it, it's just gonna be bad. Like,
I feel like that's accurate.
like you can have like, you might not like a well done steak, but like you can still have it and like it'll be okay.
Oh yeah.
Chicken rare, that's always good, you know. Don't try it at home, please.
Dude, that's the favorite joke lately. Is how do you like your chicken? I like it medium rare to rare.
Yeah. Can I get my chicken rare? And they're like, sir, we
What?
cook it all the way through it. And I'm like, why?
Why? What about all the juices?
It's like, I like when my chicken's a little rubbery. I like when it bites back.
I like the taste of salmonella base on the skin.
Facts. But
Circling
should
back
talk,
though to
yeah.
well to round it off on like the subject of like Texas Roadhouse and like food and all that stuff. So she asked me what I wanted to do, and like this is going back to the whole like I feel like I can cook a steak better than I can from most places.
hmm
I have been now doing research into this just because now I kind of have this feeling in the back of my head where my mom could in fact just show up tomorrow with a cut and just be like, here then, just to like make a point.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been doing this research for like a week now because I've been thinking about it. Turns out, man, like when people say like when people look at like medium steak or medium rare even, and they're like, oh, that's a little too pink for my liking. Turns out most cuts of steak you can pretty much eat basically raw. Like you could just sear the outside to about like what 3 to 4 millimeters in, and that's considered cooked technically, as long as the internal temperature is like. It doesn't even have to be the internal temperature actually on steak. Is the point I'm trying to make? Like you can dead ass have like a half raw steak, and it would still technically be considered just cooked rare.
Yeah, I mean like
and edible. That is like it still tastes good. It's still like. That's the point that I'm trying to make, is apparently, like, that shit doesn't really affect flavor much, rather than texture.
it depends on the cut. To be fair, like hypothetically, like yeah, you could just sear it off and eat it as is. The experience will differ, but like if you're fucking doing that with like a eye of round, that shit tastes terrible.
All right, fair. Still, I didn't know, like, I thought cooking a steak was kind of like baking in the sense of, like, you had to be very exact.
No,
Not at all.
Like that's the thing with cooking is like you can do pretty much whatever you want and it'll work if you like it. Baking is you gotta do the cooking by the book. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny, we were just talking about Lil Jon, and that Lil Jon remix always slaps.
I know, I feel that. I mean, best way to cook a steak, you get your cast iron, you bust that out, put a little oil in the pan, get it nice and hot, you put the steak in, fucking do whatever, put the butter in, baste it, garlic, thyme, get a good crust, turn the heat down, baste some more, bada bing, bada boom, you got a good steak.
Well, to be fair, Dan is a pretty good cook, so he may make it sound easy. It's probably not that easy. This man made me chicken the last time we hung out for a decent portion of time, and I'm not even joking when I say whatever seasoning he used, it was probably the best piece of chicken I had in a few months, because it was just good. It was very good.
I'll be honest, like, I put fucking garlic powder on everything.
Because garlic powder is the new I don't know what the hell. I can't even think of the name of the seasoning that I'm thinking of now. So anywho,
it's just the wave, dude. Salt, pepper, garlic powder. That's like the base. Like you salt, pepper. I'm like, nah, I gotta put the garlic powder in.
I mean, it's so good, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always down for it. But speaking of cooked, we can get to our first topic. Kim Jong Un is not doing too hot. Kim Jong Un, he's been.
I can't get over the speaking of cooked, and then you said Kim Jong Un.
All right, well, okay, so Kim Jong Un,
I'm actually crying.
He hasn't been doing too well. He's been having some health problems. I think he got corona, but I don't know if that was confirmed because anything in North Korea, you kind of just like, okay, sure.
Okay, so like I've been really trying to sift through all this shit, and like it seems like some of the internal news reports were saying like that he was doing like a routine type inspection, and then he all of a sudden dropped.
Yeah, I know he was having heart problems, so they had to bring him in for surgery, and then I think the heart surgeon, I'm making air quotes with this, like fucked up, and he's apparently like, okay, so TMZ reported him dead, and then everyone was like, cool, but then North Korea's like, no, he's fine, he's resting, but now it's
so that's the thing though, like the TMZ's reporting him dead, but like they don't have like an actual like outlet, like, or like it doesn't seem like there's actually a source right now that's actively listing him as dead. So
no.
as you were kind of leading towards like some now reports saying he's in some type of vegetated state from this botched surgery. Some are saying like he's perfectly fine. Some are saying he is dead. But There is an interesting part that came of this, though, and I think it's just all the memes about his sister potentially taking over.
That's, yeah, I'll get into that in a second. Just, it's crazy to me that I saw it was like trending on Twitter of people saying it showed there was like a picture of like, oh, she'll be next in line, and people were like, we need more female dictators, and it's like, pause, female women in power, all for it. Any form of a dictatorship, how about no? I think we
Yeah.
don't need a female dictator. I don't think we need a dictator of any variety.
Well,
But
I mean, North Korean politics are probably not very smooth. Like, what I see. Okay, you want to hear what I think would happen as my complete baseless claims?
sure,
I think if he okay, so assuming he is dead or in a state where he can no longer lead his people, one would assume it would be his sister because that's how they do succession there. It seems like it's by family.
hmm
But then he also has an uncle, believe it or not. So like it could go to the uncle. I don't really know how succession works in North Korea because I know it was Kim Jong Un's father passed to him after on it. Like it went from his father to him.
hmm
So I'm gonna assume because he doesn't have or I'm gonna assume because Kim Jong Un doesn't have a kid, like it would probably go to the uncle before it'd go to the sister, just because sexism.
maybe. I mean, granted,
Like,
like we have no idea how North Korea works, just because it's a. I mean, side note, it's amazing to me that a place like North Korea still exists in this world. But granted,
well, I mean, to be fair, they haven't really existed in the world. They've been relatively isolated
yeah, like
for the
they're their
most
own
part.
thing. And like, granted, there's probably like hundreds of different countries that are like the same way that are just on a much smaller scale.
Hmm.
But I don't know. It's so crazy to me. But I
I
just
don't
like
know.
the thought of not. I guess I don't like the thought of him being dead, but the fact that like TMZ reported him dead, and North Korea is like, that's not no, that's not what happened. He's fine. He's totally fine. He's walking. He's running laps around North Korea right now. Just like making it seem like he's okay. But
Well, I don't know. I wonder if it'd probably be military coup now. I think about it even more.
yeah,
I
I mean, I will
but
say,
like,
rest in peace, the heart surgeon. There's no way that person is still alive.
I don't know. Well, okay, I doubt we'll ever figure that out. To be quite fair, like I originally heard it was like there was a few of them that was actively trying to perform surgery, but like it's North Korea. I wonder if they probably don't have that top of the line medical equipment.
I don't know. They probably would based off like I mean their military's pretty good. Like they
I
got
mean,
nukes and shit.
didn't we talk about that article that was like North Korea is basically stuck in like was it the 80s or the 70s? There's an actual like time pre 2000s that North Korea is basically considered stuck in or
Oh,
was considered stuck in
yeah, you might be
just
right.
just off their like infrastructure and their like technology and even like some of their machinery.
hmm
I
Yeah,
don't know,
I
that could be completely out of left field. I don't know.
well, it's like that's the thing is like we don't know because it's North Korea is like its own entity in the world, and everyone's just like, okay, they're doing their thing there, I guess. Nobody fucking knows. And then it's like if you somehow get into North Korea, it's not like you're ever leaving.
Mm.
So I don't
Oh,
know.
as this New York Post article that came out today seems to point towards, it looks like it's an ongoing investigation.
Yeah, so we'll keep you
Hmm.
posted on if Kim Jong Un is alive or vegetable or dead. Dead
Hmm. I,
vegetable.
well, I still think all the memes are great though. It's basically what they've been doing is they've been like they take his sister and they basically put her as like the anime protagonist. It's like, and this is my first day as a dictator, and
Did
it's like her running with a piece of toast in her mouth, the typical anime thing or whatever.
yeah, I saw that shit.
Oh, I love it all. Twitter's fiending over it. It's great.
Yeah. That's why I love Twitter when shit like this happens because all the people that because all I follow are like artistic people and every time some shit like this happens, they whip something up right away and I love it.
Oh, see, my favorite thing, dude, is following artists on social media just because like they put out such good topical art, and it's always hilarious, man.
Exactly. I will say, um, transitioning from one person in power that people might not like too much to another, Trump's suggested to drink bleach, essentially. And I'm
Well, okay. So I will say it's a little moron. Okay, it is a little moronic to me, right? That people would like he obviously can't mean this, right? So okay, the alleged report is that, well, not alleged. Trump basically said like, well, here to stave off the virus, why not, like inject disinfectant into your blood or drink disinfectant or whatever. And that spiraled into like Maryland having to put out that thing that was like, hey, so like this doesn't actually work because they had like 100 hospitalization
yeah,
cases from
that's
people trying to like eat like Tide Pods or whatever.
yeah.
And it's fucking hilarious to me that people are like, is he actually serious about this? Just because, by God, I really fucking hope he wasn't. Like, he said he was being sarcastic, and like that's like what he's come out and like basically said like, no, it wasn't like it wasn't me being serious. It was me supposed to be kind of like ironic when I was talking to the reporters. But like,
Yeah.
it didn't kind of sound like that when he was actually saying it. So like,
It's like it's something so stupid that like I I don't think he's serious, but at the same time, he said so much stupid shit that it is very well in the realm of possibility.
yeah, God, it's like, and then I see the disinfectant where it knocks out in a minute when he was talking about like he's basically like talking about injecting it into yourself because it works so well outside of your body.
Yeah, I really liked though that it was like a head doctor somewhere responded and was like, "With all due respect, Mr. Trump, you'll fucking die." That was it, or some shit. And I
Well,
was like, "Oh my
was it like
God."
was it the CDC or was it like the like not the Surgeon General, like some top-ranking health official like put out a video that was basically like him super seriously looking at the camera like, "Hey, so you need to not listen to that at all, or you will
It's
get dead."
it's just so crazy to me that like this is a person in power. This is a person making decisions that affect your life and mine. And it's I find it so hard to believe that he was joking about it. Like as stupid as it is and as dumb as it comes off, like yeah, it sounds like a joke, but at the same time, like this dude said, should we drop nukes on hurricanes to prevent them? Like
Okay, so okay, you know what the sad part is about that? Actually, by the way, technically, in a an explosion big enough would disperse it. So like that, I mean, every other problem that would come from that alone, obviously, is why we wouldn't. However, I feel like it could be possible. And then, I don't know why I'm defending Trump either, but circling back to defend him, because I really can't let myself think that this guy said injecting Clorox into my body is how to get rid of Corona. I can't live with that guy leading our nation. I
I,
can't live with the thought of someone being 70 plus years old and actually saying this seriously.
I do love though that it spawned a tweet from Joe Biden saying like I can't believe I have to say this, but don't drink bleach. And then that made me think I feel like he's saying that from experience, no?
Well, I mean, he can't believe he has to say it because I mean he can't tell if he said it already or not.
That's true. Well, like I'm picturing like Joe Biden's got like his alcohol under the kitchen sink where he keeps like the cleaners, and he went to pour like a bottle or a glass of vodka or something, and he poured the bleach and he drank it, and he was like, honey, is this tastes weird to you?" Just like not realizing it.
No, fucking Joe Biden. Nah, don't drink bleach. Drink the rubbing alcohol. At least it's drinkable.
Dude, Joe Biden, the mental image of Joe Biden pouring a glass of rubbing alcohol and like drinking, just be like, "Oh man, that's really gonna wake you up in the morning." Like,
Corn pop.
yeah, corporate, like it doesn't surprise me, and that's so sad because the two people you get to fucking vote between is somebody senile and another person just Straight dumb.
Straight bonkers.
Straight
God,
kooky bonkers, man.
the senile Joe memes are also phenomenal.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Like I love everyone that's like it's just a picture of him in public and they're like subtexting it of like a random person telling Joe where he is or reminding him where he is.
oh my God. I saw a great one where my sister showed it to me. I guess on Tumblr there was a post of someone like there's a dog trapped under debris and they like dug him out and then somebody underneath that like made it they like deep fake the picture to put Joe Biden, and then they made it go in reverse to make it look like Joe Biden was burying like a live dog. And it got to the point of popularity where like Joe Biden's team had to be like, "Hey, this is fake. Don't believe it."
That's hilarious.
And I'm thinking like, I could definitely see Joe Biden burying a live dog. Is that weird?
That is, I mean, God, he's just so. I just can't handle looking at him, to be quite honest with you.
No, he's got such like a shit-eating grin all the time too.
Oh my God, you know what? You're right. I just found the article that said no, Joe Biden didn't bury a dog on stage at a
Yeah,
campaign rally.
it's fucking great.
That's hilarious.
But word of the wise, don't drink bleach. Don't inject yourself with anything. That's the craziest part about it, is that 100 fucking people in Maryland like actually did this and had to go to the hospital because they're that fucking stupid. Like,
Well, like, that is really dumb, and it seems like a lot of the Trump supporters were like, no, he didn't mean it. Like, they were, like, defending him, like, that he didn't mean it before that came out. So then you have to think, like, so there's a portion of Trump supporters that not only still support Trump and are dumb for that, but then it goes further, and they support Trump, but then they actually drink bleach because he said to drink bleach.
yeah, it's definitely like the if your friend jumped off a cliff, would you?
Like, that literally is that.
Yeah. And they did.
And I don't think there was any deaths from it. I do not think so.
Yeah, hopefully not.
But God,
I mean, whatever brain cells were left are probably definitely gone now. So the
God, I
reality
just
of
see,
them doing it again, or maybe they're just got an addiction to like injecting themselves with Lysol.
there's because I googled Joe Biden buries dog. There's an ad for the DMC that's like, who buried the most dogs during the Democratic primary race? Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders.
That's fucked. I love it.
Like, Joe Biden won the Democratic nomination because he buried more dogs.
This is, I mean, like, there's evidence, there's proof. I mean,
There's evidence.
Bernie's just too nice, I guess. Fuck, man. This is one thing I wanted to talk about. We talked about it like probably 30 episodes ago, but there was it was like the Navy UFO videos that got leaked, but
Yes.
now
Yeah. Those
now
videos
they're
were wild.
yeah, because like did it have the video beforehand?
They had like one. Yes, it did have this video, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because now they're declassified, and like, because I only remember in the article it just showed like it talked about what happened in the video, but not actually showing the video. But like actually watching these is kind of insane.
It is. And like why I find it more insane is that the Pentagon kind of casually acknowledged the existence of this unidentified flying object.
Yeah, but it's like I'm trying to think of like what things it could possibly be. Like the article is obviously like in the description, and you can go watch it obviously if you want. But it's not man-made. Like there's no way anybody on Earth could have made something like this because it's going super fucking fast, but there's no I don't know how to describe it. It doesn't look like possible.
All right, so to play devil's advocate for that, even though I think like whatever the hell it is in this video is bizarre and definitely not something I've seen before, and I'm sure that's why it's considered UFOs because no one's seen it before. Okay, to play devil's advocate though in the situation, right? You say it can't be man-made, right? But like think about when the first person decided to plow down the street in a car. right? Like, I mean, they're going like 15 miles an hour probably. People are riding like, but the thing is, you're sitting on the corner on your horse and you see someone round the corner in a fucking car,
Hmm.
right? I'm sure you're mind blown as hell, and you're like, "What the hell is this outworldly object?" Right?
Hmm.
So, what I'm hoping for, just well, okay, I really haven't figured out my stance on if I want aliens to be a thing or not. Like, I believe they probably are, just because of like probability, but in terms of like, the actual contact, like what I would like to think is that this is probably just some countries or even our own, who knows, is like secret love project of like extreme new technology, and no one's owned up to it. No one wants to say anything about it. And then this is just like a test for that. Like that's
Yeah.
what I would hope. That's what everyone would hope for that doesn't believe in aliens, right? But like then you watch the video.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sitting here with like my whiteboard and like strings wrapped around thumbnails, like trying to connect the dots and shit. But
No.
like, I always
It's
think back to I remember hearing it in like elementary school of like, is it weirder that um there'd be life out there, or is it weirder that we're the only life out there? And there's something more comforting knowing that there is like aliens or some shit than just being entirely alone in like a huge galaxy, if that makes sense.
well, I guess. Well, I feel like see, I agree with that until you think about it more. Because when say we like if we figured out we are alone in this huge galaxy, then that kind of means like there is now no like if there was a way to confirm that there was no, we were the only source of life in the entire universe,
Hmm.
that basically just then now we just don't have to explore space anymore. Well, not that we don't have to, but I mean like now we the only life we will ever know is Earth, right? And maybe that I don't know. I'm trying to think of how it could be comforting. I guess if you figured out we were alone, because I agree, it would. I think it would be more frightening to figure out that we were alone, just because like we've talked about it before. Like statistically speaking, there should at least be at least a million other planets with the exact same like makeup as Earth, like
Yeah.
down to like the like down to the oxygen, the water. You know, it's just like life is the only thing that's different.
Well, it's also like to get to planets to discover if there is like other inhabitable places, it would take like
Well,
hundreds of
yeah,
years.
yeah,
So,
that's definitely a big part of it. But I don't know. So you agree though that you would rather you'd rather have it confirmed that is life out there rather than to have it confirmed that there isn't life out there.
yeah, because I mean, reasonably speaking, I feel like if there was life out there, I don't think it would be like Will Smith in Judgment Day, where they would just come down and try and like conquer a planet, unless we gave them a
Hmm.
reason to, obviously. But I mean, this is all hypothetical and like conspiracy theory talk, but I don't
Mm.
know. I just find it interesting. I like the thought of like exploring space and trying to find new things out of the world, but it's also
Hmm.
I don't think anything like that will happen in our lifetime. But granted, I didn't think a pandemic would happen in my lifetime, and here we are.
Yeah, you know, it's a we live in an interesting time.
Yeah, to be fair, like we said earlier, that's probably like September or August's like fate or fad, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, aliens touch down on Earth, and we're like, oh shit. You know? Well,
Oh,
then this whole April pandemic is nothing because fucking now we're dealing with September's alien invasion.
and that's like, oh, what's that? How are we gonna close out 2020? Boom, it's snowing in New York. Oh, what's that in the snow? Godzilla. Oh, what's that? More monsters. And it's like, could be better,
God,
could be worse.
I feel like that would be a great like end to this year would be like fucking super creatures just pop up.
Yo, how about when the ball drops and we're like, oh, I can't wait to forget 2020. We hear like the classic like Godzilla roar, and he shoots like a laser into the air as the ball drops. That'd be
Yeah,
that'd be
yeah.
killer.
Godzilla would be waiting for the timing. He'd be like, "Oh, this would be so damn cool."
No, how about this? Godzilla gets in talk with the government, and the way they do the ball drop is they're like, oh, we're gonna try something different this year. Instead of it coming down, we're gonna throw it up in the air and have it drop somewhere. But little do the people know that it's an alley oop for Godzilla as he slam dunks into the new year. Thoughts? How are we feeling about this?
You know, I'm so around for it. And the only thing I could think of when I was picturing this was that scene in the new Godzilla movie where he pops out of the water, and then they did that awkward zoom up on his face, just the instant frame zoom in, and he just does the cheeky little grin.
Can we talk about the Godzilla movie for a second? Because
of course we can, Dad. It's my favorite movie of 2019.
I want to talk about. Hey, spoilers to the new Godzilla movie, by the way. I want to talk about how the scientists had to bring a nuke to Godzilla, and he was like, "I love you, Godzilla," and then he nuked himself. And I haven't been thinking about that recently, but from time to time I'll be like, he just kind of killed. He did it.
Yeah.
I guess. The movie. I love Godzilla movies, and I think if I watch it sober, I won't enjoy it as much. But I would watch it again.
Well, we can watch it again, Dan. We have the technology, and we don't have to watch it sober either.
I know, it's just so crazy to me that I know Godzilla movies aren't for the plot; they're for the monsters. But every single one, it's like they just put a bunch of 5-year-olds in a fucking boardroom, and they're like, "All right, have at it," and then all of them are just like, Godzilla's gonna punch you right here. And
to be fair, though, the most recent one is a lot better than the other one that recently came out.
Okay, the one before it, where Godzilla wasn't even in the fucking movie? Yeah.
Yes.
But then...
You're right, that movie, he was in it for 2 minutes on screen?
All I want is Godzilla to do, WWE-type moves on fucking King Ghidorah. And
if he suplexed King Ghidorah, though?
Well, it was at one point he grabbed him by 2 of the necks and picked it up and just slammed him. And I'm like, do more of that. That was cool as shit.
See, I want to see him do a running drop kick. I want to see him just kick him straight in the chest a fucking animal.
In the 1980s movie, he does that, but it's so poorly done. I'll have to show you a video of it. It's fucking hilarious.
I always see the clips of the freaking Mecha Godzilla rolling out. No, our friend made a meme actually with that movie. Remember?
Yeah.
Ben.
Yeah. No. I've seen the movie sadly, or the video sadly. But
Gosh. All right.
Oh,
How did we get on the topic of Godzilla? Now I think about it.
Aliens?
Aliens. It was definitely from Aliens.
I was talking about fucking Godzilla, Michael Jordaning into the new year.
I heard Godzilla fucking Michael Jordan. I don't know where the combo was in my head, and I was like, I don't think that's what we were talking about.
Goat v. Goat, baby.
Goat v. Goat.
Oh, fuck, man. You got
a little announcement, though.
Hit me.
Guess what's coming to Netflix in May, baby?
Hit me.
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Woo!
Alright, so Avatar: The Last Airbender is a kid's animation that was originally on Nickelodeon when we were growing up. And it's actually now kind of a very renowned show for its storytelling. A lot of authors that write fiction actually look towards the storytelling in the Last Airbender because it's just that well done. The way the characters progress. It's basically actually there's a lot of fiction curriculum that uses the Avatar: The Last Airbender's character development as a way to show you how to develop your characters because it's so well done.
Yeah.
Anywho, it's a show that I've held very close to me for many years just because it's what I grew up watching. It was a great show. It was the first show that I can remember as a kid that I actively watched from start to finish. I kept up with it as it was coming out, and the finale was a big event for me. The ending of the show was huge for me.
Yeah, I feel as a kid it was one of the only shows that I don't know. It felt like an introduction to anime, if that makes sense.
Well, in a way, it is an anime-inspired cartoon, most definitely.
But it's it was the first show that had episodic shit. It wasn't Fairly Odd Parents and Jimmy Neutron.
Oh yeah, it was definitely one of the first shows that had like a deeper overarching story. I feel like it was a nice like bridge between like Fairly Odd Parents and like Dragon Ball per se.
That's fair. I also felt like it was more than 3 seasons. I felt like that show was like 5 or 10.
Um, I mean, I think
How many
I,
episodes
th-
were there?
I think each one had like 20.
Here, I'm giving it. I'm getting on it real quick.
Um, but anyways, I
Yeah.
love the show. I've known it's been coming to Netflix for. I think we actually talked about Nickelodeon stuff coming to Netflix a couple months back when they had their deal.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we knew that this was going to be a thing, but it's finally got a confirmed date. So I'm excited to go back and watch the show.
Oh,
Um,
I would definitely be down to have
yeah,
a like a watch together of it. And also, you were right. They're like, I guess there's 61 episodes, so it was like 20 episode seasons.
yeah,
So that makes a lot more sense.
yeah. So like 20 weeks a season. That's not bad.
Yeah, it actually has 100% on Rotten Tomato.
Yeah, no, it's a fantastic show. And I'm just very happy to go back and watch it, like I said, and I hope that anyone that kind of doesn't take or hasn't seen it, that does like animation, take the time to go and watch it. The show gets very good, very fast. Like it only gets better as the show goes on.
Yeah, I actually wonder how that show holds up because I obviously haven't seen it since like it ended in like 2008.
So
Like,
I watched the first season like 3 years ago with my niece because I was like, you know what, kid, you're 5 or so years old, and it's about time for you to start enjoying stuff that I enjoyed as a kid because I don't know, I was watching her, and what the hell else was I supposed to do?
mhm.
The animation it definitely feels dated at first, but then like once you get past that nuance of like the older animation, it just you feel right at home watching it. At least that's how I felt.
You know what's really tragic to me though
What's that?
is that they scrapped a fourth season for the show in replace of the live action adaptation.
That's disgusting.
Isn't it? Like it's
Well, okay, like so what would the fourth season be? Just like the fallout after all that stuff, I guess.
yeah, I mean I guess so. Like I have no problem with shows doing like they ended on a pretty good note, but they add like a one-off movie just to like tie everything up that you may have questions about. Like I always like
Hmm.
that, but
Mm,
maybe not a live
completely agree.
action one.
Yeah, I heard Legends of Korra is pretty good, but I've never watched a single episode of that.
I had a friend who watched all of it and they really liked it.
Who knows? Maybe if I go back and rewatch the first one, I can go do their spin-off as well.
I will say, in Legend of Korra, I really liked the idea of a bloodbender. I thought that's really fucking cool. Even though that's literally
Um,
like Scarlet from Mortal Kombat, I think
they
it's I think it's like cool
they
as hell.
they did that in the Last Airbender.
Really? Oh, I guess
Yeah.
it was just more prominent because I think like the bloodbender was like the main protagonist in Legend of Korra.
Um. So, God, what was it in the Last Airbender? It was like it was kind of like a couple episode thing where like Kataro, the waterbender chick,
Hmm.
was like she figured out that that's where they figured out that it was kind of the episode that lets you. It was basically like yeah, there's elements aren't really the only thing that you could mess around with if you're a bender. So like you
Yeah.
figured out that like lightning and fire kind of went hand in hand, metal and rock. But then like Katara was like, "Oh, you can bend the water in someone's blood content, and then you can control them." And I'm like, Kid Me was like, "Oh my God, she's controlling blood. This is fantastic. This is so cool." And then she was like, "No, I can't do this. It doesn't feel right." And I was like, "No, you need to puppet people. What do you mean?"
I mean, like to be fair, it's not like the quote unquote like good guy's power. You know what I mean? Like I always feel like wherever there's like superheroes, supervillains, or like powers, good versus bad, the bad always has like the more intriguing of the two.
Fair.
Like take like Star Wars for example. It's like yeah, you can like force push and shit, but like I can shoot a whole lightning bolt out of my like veins. Like that's
That
sick as hell.
True. True. I always thought that was imbalanced. I was like, why do I have to be a Sith when I was role playing, Star Wars as a kid? If I want to use lightning, why can't I be a good guy that shoots lightning?
That's what I'm saying. And like in Star Wars, like the majority of Sith characters, cool as hell. Like Darth Maul, he got the fucking double sided. Like that's so cool. I'm like reliving like kid me's thought. Like General Grievous, 4 arms. He takes like people he kills lightsabers. I'm like, that's so cool.
Count Dooku, he had a cool cape.
Count Dooku. Oh no, Count Dooku had the coolest lightsaber. It was like a gun. Like it was curved. The handle was curved.
Oh yeah, yeah, and he also had lightning, no?
Yep. I said this so confidently.
See, I'm not that big of a Star Wars guy. One of my friends is really into Star Wars.
Yeah,
But
I'm like
me, not so much.
I was, and then like the whole new saga came out, and I tuned out pretty hard.
Did they have a new movie come out like over Christmas? Like,
Yeah, yeah, that was
one?
like the final one, and it was really bad apparently.
Really? Classic example of me not even knowing a movie's out.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, like in my eyes, like Adam Driver, like kind of put that fucking saga on his back and tried to carry it. Also,
True.
John Boyega, he was cool. I liked him.
I'm sorry. Who?
He was Finn in Star Wars.
Okay.
You can Google it. You got it.
Is that he was the stormtrooper? That was the stormtrooper, right?
Yeah, and then he
Okay.
turned good.
Yes. Yes. I thought he.
Except
For some
for-
reason, I thought you meant that pilot guy.
He could be Finn. I don't know. No, he's not Finn. I don't remember his name. I don't really care. I
Idiot.
I didn't like that in the second movie. They were just like Finn's got a love interest.
Oh,
Cheeseburger.
the random Asian girl that was definitely a detriment to the plan.
Yeah.
Yes. I felt like her character was a little too inserty at some points because I liked her for comedic relief until
Yeah.
they were like fisting a like romantic subplot into her, and I was like, please get out. No,
Yes. It's fine. It's fine. Stop.
we don't need it. We don't need it. We don't need it.
And I got one last topic, and
Hit
it's
me.
Last of Us 2 Part 2. People were very excited for the game, but
Please rant on.
huh?
I said, please rant about this.
Okay, so what happened is the developer, they're called Naughty Dog. They're making this game. This is like their big baby, their big love child. And I guess like because of the pandemic, they've had to push back, and I guess like they're not paying their employees. So a couple of them just kind of leaked the entire game and like all the spoilers to it. And let me tell you, the fucking writing for this game makes Game of Thrones Season 8 look like a thing of beauty. It is so depressing. Like, if you care at all about the game, here's a spoiler alert. We'll probably talk about it to the end of the episode, but like, we're pretty deep in, so like, if you want to tune out, it's fine. Love you. Catch you in the next one. But like, it's so bad that I need to talk about it. So,
Go
spoilers?
for it.
I'll give you a second. Okay. So, they just kill off the two main characters for what appears to be no real reason besides like, oh, we can, or like, oh, this will be a cool twist. And it's so fucking stupid. Like, okay, so you got the main character, you got Joel and Ellie, and then for whatever reason they made the fucking protagonist like transgender. Like, I have no problem with it, obviously, but it feels like they just did it to like make a point that like that they're
That they're-
transgender. Like, it brings
Like
nothing.
they were just trying to tick off the mark on like, hey, we're trying to show that we're diverse.
Well, yeah, because they made Ellie gay, and it's like cool, like she has a girlfriend, but then it's like I guess the evil person in the story was dating who Ellie's dating before her, and she left her for Ellie, yada yada. Like it's like a fucking high school romance, and then I guess like Joel killed the evil person's parents, who fucking knows when, and so she kills Joel like halfway through the game, and then you play as the person who killed Joel, which makes zero fucking sense and brings absolutely nothing to the game. it's
Jesus.
it's so mind-bogglingly frustrated because then at the end of the game you just fucking kill Ellie because you were dating her like previous like her ex. And it's like it just doesn't make sense. It makes no
There's no
fucking.
way. No way that can like that just sounds so garbage.
It is garbage. It's so fucking bad. And
Nope, it's the Sonic PR stunt. It's the Sonic PR stunt. They release something garbage at first, people get their expectations up, then they release it and it's not garbage, and then people are surprised. It's the same thing. It's gotta be.
This game has been in development for like fucking years. When did the first Last of Us come out? Hold on. Gonna.
That's what I'm saying. Like this game's easily been like what sought out for at least 3 years.
This game
There's
came out.
no way.
This game came out in 2013.
Yeah, there's no way they're. Why would they kill off their two characters that people give a shit about?
Yeah, I mean, like, kind of shitty. It's shitty on both parts. Like, it's shitty on Naughty Dog for not paying their employees, but it's also shitty for somebody to be literally live streaming the game on YouTube from beginning to end. But
Well, wait, that like it literally is a finished game and that's it.
yeah, and they put out a statement that we know the last few days have been incredibly difficult for you. We feel the same. It's disappointing to see the release and sharing of pre-release footage from development. Do your best to avoid spoilers, and we ask that you don't spoil it for others. The Last of Us Part 2 will be in your hands soon. No matter what you've seen here, the final experience will be worth it. And it's like, if I'm brain dead, smell like shit, hermit, live under a bridge, sure, I'll love this game, because it's the only thing I can experience at the moment. But, like, I don't know. I'm so frustrated about it because like I loved The Last of Us, the first one, and like I don't know if I was even gonna play this game. I might watch somebody play it, but like it's so fucking frustrating.
I'm now very glad that I didn't get into the first one.
Yeah, it.
God. Could you imagine being a Last of Us fan that's been waiting 7 years and then that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like it's literally like I said earlier. It's Game of Thrones season 8. We fucking
It's waiting 2 years for it and then it's that.
wait 2 years garbage. I mean, it had some good moments. I'll give it. It had like a few good moments, and it was also Game of Thrones, so it was nice to watch. But the ending was so bad. Ugh! I'm angry.
Yeah, we
I'll be honest.
talk
I'm a
about
little
shit
angry.
Game of Thrones is a lot. I feel like anytime we talk about something that's garbage, we always relate it back to how garbage Game of Thrones is.
Because it literally.
It's honestly the metric for a disappointment for me now when it comes to media.
It was like, all right, you're raising your kid, right? He's high honors all the way through elementary, middle school. He's valedictorian in high school. Goes off to college. Sophomore year, gets addicted to crocodile. It's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Now my kid is missing, like-
That's exactly.
It's like now my kid's missing like a chunk of his bicep and his right leg. Like, I don't fucking know.
All right. Yeah. Fair. Last of Us bad. Last of Us bad.
Uh,
Is that it? Last of Us not good. Bad. Not good.
I mean, I guess we'll have to wait and see they come out. Maybe it was like that was an idea, and they're like, nah, we can't go with that. That's too stupid.
I hope, dude. That's got to be.
I'm banking on that. I'm just really hoping for that.
I don't know. Part of me likes to think that like the gaming studio would have their best interest in mind, and I can't see how killing off their two like main protagonists would really benefit them.
Well, that's
Like,
what I'm saying, because this isn't like a Game of Thrones where killing off a main character is like exciting in a way. You know what I mean?
It doesn't make for like a more interesting like it's different because when you're playing a video game, you're kind of vicariously living as that character in a way.
Yeah, and it's
So you get more attached rather than like a show.
yeah. I mean, I guess like in the old days of do you remember like the Telltale Walking Dead games?
Yeah.
Yeah, like they did a pretty good job. I think they did the best job of like killing off characters in video games that you cared about in a way that like affected the story, at least back then. But
Yeah. See, I never played those games because once I heard that your choices don't actually matter, I was like, oh, all right,
Oh,
I
yeah.
guess I don't have to play the game.
I think I just watched like PewDiePie or Cry do a playthrough of it, and I just played vicariously through them.
I, for some reason, have have like a remembrance of us playing the Game of Thrones Telltale game at our friend's house at one point, but I don't know if that was a fever dream or not.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Oh, well, the more you know, I guess. Um, but yeah, sorry to end on such an angry note, but
No, it's perfect.
I mean, I guess you got my emotions, and that's all that matters. Oh, last thing, this isn't like on the topics or anything, but I guess like a lot of people are turning on Elon Musk now because he's starting to join the like protesting quarantine movement.
Oh, are you talking about because on Twitter he said "Free America"?
Yeah, and he was posting some shit of like some places were starting to like reopen up, and he was like, "Good, good," and shit like that. Which like,
Honestly, I don't know where he stands on it because like he still did all that shit with like the ventilators and all that stuff for the
mm,
hospitals, in California. So like,
yeah, I don't know. It just seemed weird to me.
yeah, yeah, I understand. I saw that this morning as well.
But we can talk about that another day.
So, as it develops, we'll see it through.
Yeah, maybe next week.
Maybe next week. And on that note, this has been the Frying Pan Podcast, episode 78. Thank you for tuning in as always. We are on social media. The handle for both of those is the Frying Pan Pod. And we also have our email, which is inthepanpodcast@gmail.com. You can send us over any business inquiries or constructive criticisms on that. We'd appreciate it. And as far as constructive criticism goes, you're listening to us now on pretty much any audio platform. So if you could go the extra mile and leave us a like, a comment, or a star rating, we'd appreciate that greatly. And for the last time, folks, this has been the Frying Pan Podcast. I've been Robert D'Onofrio.
I've also been Robert D'Onofrio.
And we hope you have a great rest of your week. We hope you have a great rest of your day. We will catch you in the next episode. Stay safe.
Au revoir.